Hello and welcome to Motors for the Masses. And who doesn't love a retro scrambler? Well, let's roll the intro and get cracking. Now, I want you to imagine a young, feisty Honda Rebel 500 went out on a grab-a-granny night and hooked up with a Triumph Scrambler. Several months later, out plopped this, the 2023 CL500 Scrambler from Honda. Powering this is the same engine you find in Honda's CBs and the CBR and the Rebel. It's a 471cc double overhead cam, liquid cooled parallel twin engine with a 180-degree crank, developing 45 brake horsepower and 32 pounds-foot of torque, making it A2 compatible. It has a 6-speed box with slipper clutch with a top speed of around, who really cares, miles per hour. Now, you may think this is just a Honda Rebel with a Scrambler vibe, but Honda have altered the way the air flows to make it more direct, which gives it better low-end torque. They've also added one tooth to the rear sprocket to help with that acceleration. Forks are right way up 41mm non-adjustable, but a decent 150mm of travel, with preload adjustable twin shocks on the rear. Brakes are non-switchable ABS by Nissan, single 310mm front disc with a double piston caliper, with a single piston caliper on the rear and a 240mm disc. Wheels are cast alloy, 19-inch with a 110 front tyre and 17-inch with a 150 rear, using Dunlop Trail Max tyres, which are sort of Scrambler-esque, but let's be honest, it's a street Scrambler, so it's not really designed for off-roading. Lights are LED front and rear with the emergency stop signals, so if you slam on your brakes, the hazard flashes come on. The tank isn't huge, it only holds about 12 litres, which is good for around 200 miles, which is 75 miles to the gallon on paper. Realistically, I'd say that's probably around 65, depending on the various variables, of course. However, it does produce a lovely, juicy 86 CO2s. Yum! It is a well-proportioned bike at 2.2 metres long, or just under, 830mm wide, 1.1 metres tall, weighing in at 191 kilos wet. Seat height is only 790mm. Now, as usual, I haven't changed. I'm 5'10.5" with a 31.5-inch inside leg, and I can easily sit with my feet apart because these pegs do dig in your shins otherwise, because they are there, right there. You can be here and be nice and comfortable. Behind is just a bit weird. If you are right in line with the pegs, far enough apart that I can get... Oh, hi! Sorry if the camera's wobbling. Just wait for nature to go away. It isn't. So yes, far enough apart so I can spread my legs and still be flat-footed very easily. I mean, I can position here quite happily without touching the pegs and still be flat-footed. It's a very comfortable seating position. So if you're here, right by the side, they will dig in your shins, but to say it's low enough for you to move your feet and not have that sticking in you. So yeah, very comfortable indeed. The bike comes in 4 different colours: candy orange, matte black, matte green, or this lovely candy blue. Right then, let's get this out on the road and see what it rides like. So here we are on the Honda CL500 Scrambler. And I have to say, right from the off, I can't believe how good this feels. I really thought this was going to be boring, and everything so far has surprised me. The clutch is so light, I can just use one finger, so probably my little finger, so light. Just like the CF Moto I test rode quite a few months ago. Unbelievably light. Gear change is effortless. It's so smooth and silky. It's got the slipper clutch on this, as we said, and it's a delight. I have to say, the dash is a bit dull. It's hard to read that. I wonder if I can turn the brightness up on that, because it is quite dull. I can see the numbers and I can see the gear indicator. But I can't really see it without looking properly. I don't know if it shows up on the camera there, but it's quite difficult to see. Other than that, it feels so light. There's sort of nothing to it. It's just flick, flick, flick. It's so simple. I'm at a 60 limit here. See what it's like overtaking. Effortless. Yeah, very pleasing. I like that. That is really nice. You see how it stands up on a dual carriageway type speed. I know it's got Scrambler written after it, but let's be honest, street scramblers are only going to be ridden on the road, not really anywhere else. It is. I mean, it ticks over a bit blandly, I will say. Sort of nothing there. But it needs a really good Scrambler-esque exhaust system. But yeah, this is effortless to ride. I'll tell you what, as a first A2 bike, perfect. It feels so easy to just take round a corner. It's got enough speed to get you up to motorway speeds, let's hope. Let's find out, shall we? It's very windy today. Yeah, I'm up to motorway speeds. Very blustery today, and I would say this does hold you there. I mean, I am being blown around, but as I say, it's very windy today. Because I'm quite upright, it is more of a slab than aerodynamic. Gear change is so light, and the clutch is unbelievably light. See where he's going. Does it have the self-cancelling indicators? I bet it doesn't. I mean, there's sort of no tech on this. No? Good. Don't want the bloody things. I mean, these are very low-tech machines. Back to basics. Standard cable throttle. Sort of nothing on the switch gears other than what you need. Horn indicators, start, hazard flashes, lights. That's it. No frills. It is very quiet. That is a downside, I would say. But unfortunately, as I said before, Euro 5-isms have hindered everything involving fun. Okay, in fourth, at 40 miles an hour, up to 60. Yeah, simple. Very simple. It's very comfortable. The seat is quite nice. I've got no problems with the seat whatsoever. I've got decent visibility out the mirrors, not 100%, about 80% I would say. They are round mirrors, so I am limited on what comes out of those anyway. Suspension is not bad, it's quite forgiving, a little bit bouncy, but you are on a Scrambler, so you expect that. It's got 150mm travel, as I said. But yeah. I wonder what it would feel like if that cowl wasn't on it. Whether that deflects anything or whether it's just more for aesthetics. Other than that, it's a very, and I'm going to say it, pleasurable ride. It feels very light, nimble, simple, tiny bit wallowy over some of the bumps, but again, as I say, that's the Scrambler essence of the bike. I'm liking this. Brakes are pretty good. Not as sharp as the ones on the Hornet that I did last week, but they're not bad. Takes the corners really easily. Out into the countryside. It's nippy. To get up to 60 miles an hour, it does it really well. Very nippy. No problems there whatsoever. Do you know what? There's not a massive amount to say about this bike, but on the flip side of that, there's nothing negative to say really, other than the mirrors. Could do with a longer stalk. Not that I've ever said that before. I'll be honest, when the sun shines on that dash you can see it better, because obviously it's the reverse LCD type, so it's only really in dark that it makes a bit of an issue, but when it's sunny, no problems at all. Obviously there's no quick shift on this, but you don't need it, that clutch is so light. What a brilliant little bike. See what it's like around these tiny roundabouts. It's got a good balance. Yeah, easy. Yeah, decently up to speed there. I mean, you use 5 gears to get up to speed, and then 6 is like overdrive. I mean, don't get me wrong, if this was your only bike and you just passed your A2, it would be ideal as a learner bike. It would be superb as a daily commuter and a fun countryside blaster. As a second bike, also brilliant. I don't know how it would fare if you've got a full license and you're doing dual carriageway or motorway miles. Might get a bit, I don't want to say dull, might get a bit, what's the best word? Meh. Yeah, that's the best word. Oh, I do like this a lot. I really thought it was going to be boring, but it's fun. Yeah, if you go over a bump, you can feel the suspension boinging you a little bit on the back end. But it's not horrendous. So the brakes are okay, they're not amazing, but they're okay. Ooh, a little bit of a wheel spin there on the dirt. Nice. Wow. What can I say? Honda, you've done it pretty well. I mean, Honda do the middle of the road bikes very well, just as well as they do the bonkers Fireblades also. Okay, in third gear at sort of 27 miles an hour, you get a tiny bit of on-off on the throttle, especially when you go over the bumps. But again, it's not horrendous. You might think to yourself, he doesn't know where he's going, and you'd be correct. I don't. I'm just enjoying these little roads. Now I'm sort of over the initial excitement of what a fun little bike is. Let's talk a little bit more about how it feels. Foot pegs, very comfortable, no negative feedback through the foot pegs or the handlebars. So nothing buzzy, nothing's really upsetting me at all, to be honest. It's very comfortable, enjoyable little ride. Handlebars are a good width. Tyres are pretty decent, holding the road quite well. Not that I'm hammering around corners obviously, but yeah, they do a decent job. Because obviously it's got a very small tank, my knees can sit in quite nicely, and it just feels very narrow. It doesn't feel a very large bike at all, but it feels big enough. It feels like I'm not on a 125 or a little 300 and like that. I am on a good sized bike, but I'm not on a massive bike, and it goes well with the weight, which is light as anything. On paper 191 kilos does sound like it could be a little bit heavy, but it really isn't heavy at all. Everything is all light and fluffy. You can certainly see yourself buzzing around the country roads on a Sunday, having lots of fun. The only thing I would say that is a bit annoying is the lack of sound from a Scrambler, and the mirrors could do with a slightly longer stalk. You don't really need anything fancy on the dash, because it's not that kind of bike. So being a Scrambler of sorts, street Scrambler albeit, it's got what it needs. As I said, maybe the dash could be doing a bit brighter, but in the sun, so that it does lighten up, so you hope for a sunny day. In the dark it's a little bit dim. I have no idea where I am. Which way do I go? No idea. I know, I'll turn round. Right, nice and slow, very easy to balance, very easy to use the throttle at low speeds. Fantastic. Very easy to ride, very easy indeed. One other negative is it does have a mild steel exhaust, and you would have kind of expected to have a stainless steel exhaust these days. I mean, mild steel is old hat. I know it's on a budget, but does it have to be that budget? Come on, stainless steel all the way. What else can I say? There isn't really anything. You know, it's comfortable, it's easy to manoeuvre, it feels light and flickable. Downsides are, as I say, tiny bit bouncy on some of the bumps in the road, but yeah, that's to be expected from a Scrambler S-type bike, so if you don't want that, then you're on the wrong bike, to be fair. And yeah, so the only negative is a little bit more visibility out of the mirrors would be nice. The dash is a tiny bit dull, and the sound is definitely dull. Right, fantastic. So let's find out how much this is, shall we? So how much is it? Well, it's £5,999 with a 2-year warranty, and that is not a bad price at all. But what are its competitors, would you say? Well, possibly the CL500 Caballero, which is a great bike, but only 40 brake horsepower, although the same torque as the CL500, yet £1,600 more. Or maybe the Royal Enfield Scram 411, which is half the power of the Honda, but £1,500 less, and it will do off-road. Let's just talk about the looks for a second. I mean, it is an unusual looking bike with that sort of drop-down tank that the Rebel has, but it's quite attractive. I quite like the bike. I mean, they've tried to go with the original CL500 style exhaust here, but it's been hit by the Euro 5 bug, unfortunately, so it's a bit but an aftermarket one double can might look quite nice on that and sound a hell of a lot better. Other than that, it's quite a nice looking bike. I do want to say that this cowl, the number board on the other side, are aftermarket add-ons. This is 40 quid. The cowl is £150, and you can get an extra Scrambler mudguard to go on there for £110, but that seems a bit pointless to me, to be honest. I mean, I don't know why you'd want that, especially when it doesn't replace this. It's in addition, so it just looks a bit weird. Other than that, it is very well made, like all Hondas, you know. It is very well made indeed. It looks decent. It's different, which is what I like about it. I like the flat track style Scrambler seat, plastic mudguards obviously for weight, or lack of weight. It does have the old traditional style lock key there, because obviously the key goes on this side down here. And that brings me to the end of this episode of Motorsforthemasses. Thank you very much for joining me. I'll be back next time with something else. I have got the Vosges 300 Rally coming up, so stay tuned for that one. And obviously more on the Mustang and other bikes coming also in the pipeline. So thank you very much for joining me. If you have any comments, please leave in the comment section below. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe and click the notification bell for future videos. And until next time, please ride and drive carefully, but have fun. Bye-bye.